Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me, Rays, and today we're going to be talking about the age-old question, the question that has burdened man since the dawn of time: LB3, LB4, or LB5. Now, of course, I'm not talking about limit burst in WOTV. I am mainly talking about, well, awakening characters. You know, awakening is pretty standard. When you get a character, you basically awaken them as high as you can go, or as high as you are willing to go with the resources you have. It's not exactly a difficult thing for me to say that, yeah, basically awakening a character that you think you are going to get a lot of use out of is not a bad idea, because you just can start getting their abilities and start going in on them. If you're maybe a more free-to-play spender, you may want to be cautionary until you can get. But, you know, I get this question so much. Like, Umbra, I got Orlando, I got Ramza, I can probably get them to LB3, I maybe could get them at LB4, and if I'm incredibly lucky, LB5. But where should I get to? And that is always a really difficult question. So I want to talk a little bit about content, and I want to talk about a story, first of all, with 3 types of limited time units, and they go like this. Thancred. At the beginning of the game, I spent money trying to go on his banner. That's why I ended up getting a fair amount of the Shadowbringers cards, and that eventually got me to LB3. This got him up to level 79. He had his pretty decent stats around for, you know, that. But as we approach the half-year mark for War of the Visions, I really got to say that he has incredibly fell off, and I feel like I'm particularly screwed with him. Mainly because also I just don't see an FF14 event happening in the near future. Overall, Thancred was a very strong character at the beginning, and if you maxed him out, he was very strong as well. But he was expensive on the JP side and didn't really want to go there and didn't get lucky with the tickets, so yeah, ended up with him, such as he is. And while I was very happy at the time to get, you know, access to all of his abilities, because if you know anything, limit breaking a character up to level 3, LB3, will give you access to all of their abilities. It will give you access to everything on the job board, provided you awaken them far enough and get their job levels high enough. Point being that, you know, LB3 is what most WOTV players, most experienced WOTV players, will call the bare minimum. If you can't get a character to this point in some way, shape, or form, it's really not worth using. Especially just, yeah, it's just not worth using. So then, later on, you know, about around Christmas time, which is about 1 month in, I was finding that it was a little sad that I couldn't get, you know, Thancred any higher, and so feeling with a new limited time unit, I decided to go a little bit harder, try to go and see if I could get her up to a decent level. So I got Christmas Ramada up to LB4, and to be fair, she has been a lot more long-term useful, partially because she's just a, well, she's basically a water version of Stern, and Stern is potentially really good, and this allowed me to unlock her TMR spot. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, this is a guaranteed spot where you can equip your Trust Mastery from some unit, provided that the equipment types match. But again, I have found that over time, especially now, about 6 months in, LB4 is starting to wear down, especially as the content's getting harder, and she just doesn't quite measure up to some other types of units. Which brings me to my last example, another limited time unit, and one that I'm sure global players are very familiar with at this point, Ramza. A character that I was able to fully trust master, and really at this point I'm going to say that his trust mastery is just okay. It's not great, but it's not terrible. And him I have felt like I have gotten the most long-term value out of. You see, the thing is that LB3 is kind of the bare minimum, but the highest level content that has shown up in War of the Visions to this point at on the JP side is been level 80, job level 10, which is definitely in the range of LB4. Now, is it possible to beat it with lower level units or a mix of various amounts? Yeah, it probably could be with enough effort and RNG and luck, you know, that status effects and damage doesn't go too badly. And you know, you have a fairly well crafted team. Sure, you can probably get, you know, supported, but it does. The highest level content seems to dictate in LB4. Now, a lot of people will tell you that LB3 is basically where you need to be, and in the early stages of War of the Visions, I would agree. I would have definitely agreed that LB3 was, hey, that's where you need to be at. But over time, playing the JP side, I have to say that LB4 is probably the bare minimum what I would recommend going forward. Why? Well, LB4 does get you access to, you know, some more stats, some more levels, and those are always nice. Basically, you know, the higher your percentages are, the more you're going to get benefits out of cards and whatnot. But really, I do think that the Trust Mastery spot is something that I particularly like in terms of talking about the long-term value of a unit, because Trust Masteries will get better. Like if you had a limited time unit like Landu or Ramza and you couldn't quite get to LB5, that might be okay still if you can just unlock that TMR spot at LB4. And from what I've seen playing the global side with the Final Fantasy Tactics event, as well as playing the JP side with the new Final Fantasy Tactics event with Agrius, that LB4 does seem pretty reasonable. It does require you to be a little bit stingy about what banners you go on and what banners you want, but that is why I think I would definitely say that LB4 is the minimum for global. You guys have the added advantage of hindsight of the JP side, where, you know, JP players can tell you how good a unit was, how good, you know, when banners roughly came, how much, you know, what kind of things you can expect, right? Like, and to that point, LB4 is where I would say, like, LB3 definitely unlocks all of the abilities, but as time has kind of gone on, LB4 just seems like the much sweeter spot, with LB5 just requiring a lot of shards. Now, obviously, if you can get to LB5 with a character like Ramza or Landu, that's a really big benefit, because you're just going to get the full value out of them. You don't have to worry about the banner coming back in the future or shards being available in the future. You can just enjoy the character full. That has definitely been my experience with Ramza. I was not worried about tactics coming back because Ramza was just serving me so well in fights, and he was basically kind of becoming my go-to unit to be very reliable. And to that extent, that is peace of mind. That is valuable. But you don't really got to worry about that with a ton of other characters. You know, your Veneras, your Victorias, your Mirandas, all of these units, no matter when you get them, you are able to start slowly farming their character shards with hard quests every single day, and that is great long-term value. That means that you can potentially save on a lot of these character banners, because you know you can always just farm up their shards, even if it doesn't necessarily go that well. There is long-term value. And I get it to people who are out there like saying, well, you need 600 shards for a UR character. That's 300 days of farming, Umbra. What the fuck? And it's like, well, there are repeat banners. There are shards that appear in the elemental shops and the whimsy shops, and all which manner of different places. And repeat banners are generally more friendly, like we've seen pity rates and whatnot. So yeah, I have to say that I understand the need and want to get fully LB5, and the bare minimum that some people say is just good enough with LB3, getting up to level 79 max. But I think that LB4 better future-proofs, especially limited time units, just because having that TMR spot does open a new place for equipment to help benefit or to kind of subsidize the stats that you would have gotten from getting to LB5. Obviously, there will never be a permanent, really good replacement for just getting to LB5, getting the Trust Mastery, potentially getting the Trust Mastery ability, provided it's not just horrible. But yeah, I gotta say, overall, if you're wondering about the age-old question of LB3, LB4, LB5, LB4 is strongly where I put it. You can, you know, pad out a character with a TMR to make up for the extra stats. And those extra 10 levels do make a difference for just how strong you can potentially get a character over other characters. Like, that is something that I have found with, you know, just building a whole bunch of different characters, so that it is really nice to get those extra stats. They can be the difference between win and fail, pass or fail. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to say, if you've ever been wondering about where Umbra's long-winded opinion is about LB3, LB4, LB5, LB4 is where I say the minimum is. LB5 is a wonderful thing that just means that you get everything out of the unit you want. And with that being said, I really hope over the next little bit I can get pretty darn close to LB5 with Agrius. So that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see ya in the next video, whatever that is. Take care.